Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me today. This is Stephen with iFoundAgent, and today I wanted to cover in detail going through the campaign builder. Sorry. Um, so the campaign builder is the central location which you're probably going to spend about 90% of your time on when using our system. Uh, it is basically the unified tool that helps you set up a search for your client if you'd like to do so, set up a recurring campaign for your client. Um, you can blog post with a click of a button, and if you have um, social media settings in place, it can also automatically push that blog post over to social media as well. Okay, so without further ado, I'm just going to jump right in. So I'm using one of our test sites here. Let me just log in. We have videos about logging into your site, about how to get there. So if you have questions, check out our knowledge base. Otherwise, from our dashboard, I'll just click on Campaign Builder. And I'm going to do a quick overview, and then I'm just going to dive into it. So the Campaign Builder is, it's one long form that gives you all the options you need. And again, we kind of centralize what we used to do in so many different screens and clicks. So that's one of the new advancements with this system. But it starts with a contact. We're setting up a campaign for a contact. So you can put that contact's name in here. You can type it in or add a new one. Again, I'll go in more detail in just a second. We have this big map here in case you need to do a polygon search. If not, you just leave it alone. We have search criteria if you're building a search for your client and you want to send that on a recurring basis, which we recommend. All that search criteria stuff is up here. We have a nice big button to view search results, to preview whatever search you've created and see what kind of results you're getting before you send it out. Campaign title is just what do you want the client to see as the name of this campaign. The blog post button is here. So this button right here creates a blog post out of that search that you've used if you are making a search. Scheduling, so we have options for setting up a recurring campaign, or you can just send it as a one-off if you just choose only once. We have some branding options in here. So these have to do with what email templates we're going to be using. So now branding and email is just all about building that email. Default, we have a default header, we have a default signature. You can actually set up, different styles and different templates and different signatures, especially if you have different team members that use the same site. For instance, on this demo site, we have different signatures for multiple staff members. And then as far as the email goes, you get a confirmation to make sure what you want it to say as far as who the email's from, what email address is from. Notification type is really important. Again, I'm going to cover this again, but if you're doing a search, you got to choose Market Update. Otherwise, you're going to choose whichever one makes the most sense for your own organization purposes. So Market Update is where it's at for search. That's the one you're going to use 9 times out of 10. Campaign template, this is where you bring in a template for email content that you may have stored, or maybe just want to use one of our generic ones that came with the site. So you can choose that there. And once you do choose one, then you get the option of just verifying that the subject and the email body looks good to go, and then you send it. So that I just wanted to kind of do a real quick pass at this first, because I think a lot of people may come to this video just to kind of get the quick version. That was the quick version. All right, we're going to start and just dive right into it. So contact. So first and foremost, again, we're going to be sending this over to a contact. This doesn't have to be somebody that is new to the market or looking to buy right now, or looking to even to sell. Really, ideally we want to be sending these campaigns out to anybody that we know that that lives or has interest in market area that we can serve. So even if somebody just closed a house with you in a certain area and now they're living there, they're going to want to know what's happening in the market in their area. So you want to send them those status reports. You want to send them market activity. That way you're answering any questions they might have about what that house sold for down the street, and before they ask it. So really we're just trying to disconnect them from Zillow and try to keep them from having to compete for the lead that you've already gained having to recompete for business. So, all right. So contact, if you already have some contacts in here, you can just start typing away, and this will autocomplete. So you can see I use Bill demo a lot for my demos. If you don't see your contact in here, you can just hit add new, and you can add a contact on the fly. First name, Bill, demo 8. Email address, BillDemo8 at ifoundagent.com, and I can fill in any other information I want to add for this contact. Right, when I first got the lead, where I got the lead from, address information, spouse information, and so on. So I'm just going to hit save and close. So once I do that, you can see Bill Demo 8's information is here. Again, this is a big map, so I can draw polygons. Some areas in your MLS, as you know, are not well documented or hard to search for unless you draw a shape on a map. And so you have the option here. You can click this little button down here, which is an odd shape. It says draw shape when you hover over it. You can notice that your mouse kind of changes over to like crosshairs. And you just pick a place on the map, any place, and it starts the shape. You could drag, and you can kind of see the line extending, and if I click again, I make a pivot point, and if I just keep clicking, it'll just make pivot points until I go back to the original marker. You can see my mouse turns into a little hand, and I can click it to close that map. So once that polygon. So once that polygon's created, I can drag it around if I need to. I can change the shape if I need to by just dragging these edges. The ones in the middle here kind of help you change the shape entirely. So yeah, you can just do a whole bunch of stuff with this, as you can see. You can also change the color, which is not groundbreaking by any means, but it is really helpful if you have multiple polygons to distinguish which one's which. So what I mean by that is that anytime you're adding search criteria, whether it's by polygons or using the search criteria tools, it all piles up in this selected criteria bin, and you can see my polygons are here, and the colors are associated are here. So that's what I was saying. It's really helpful to have different colors here. So if I don't need that, I can just say, okay, I don't need that orange one anymore, goodbye. And you can see it just disappeared. And same thing, I don't really need the blue one either, so I'll just go ahead and do that. And you can see it just instantly goes away. So search criteria, this is the quick search criteria here. This is what people use most often. One of the beautiful things about this new system is that you can actually customize this area. And you can customize what fields are available to you here and what fields are available to you as the additional criteria. So we have the more options down here. This stuff can get a little overloaded or cumbersome if you have too much, and sometimes, if you don't have enough, then it's not effective for you. So we let you customize this. We have a separate video on customizing your campaign area, is what it's called in our knowledge base. So anyhow, you use these fields to go ahead and specify criteria. So let's say I want to just pull up closed homes and maybe a specific subdivision. Trying to think of a subdivision. Probably should have been prepared with one, right? We'll just say Ocotillo. And I don't want to send my client, this client Bill, he just closed a home in Ocotillo, and I want to send him market activity for a closed home. So we're going to do close in Ocotillo in the subdivision. But I don't want to send him like everything that was ever created. Just want to send him maybe the last 90 days of activity, because that should be plenty of data and it's all relevant, right? So we have this days back closed I can use, and I can just type in 90. And if I hit add, then it says 90 days back. So that's how you use these little tools. You just click on it and it drops down, gives you some options, and then you hit add when you wanted to add it to your search. If you goof, if you make a mistake, let's say, oh, I did 90 days back, but I don't want that anymore, I just come down here and hit the little X and it's gone. And I can re-add it if I need to. So I can do maybe 180 days if that's what I had meant to do originally. And so that's how you build your search. So if this looks like it should be enough criteria for me to send this out to my client, but before I get confident behind it, I want to make sure that I have the right results. I can click this View Search Results button. And I get a little please wait a moment screen. And then once I finish, it shows me what search results I have on the map. Look at, I got some in Surprise, and I got some in, what is that, Phoenix and Chandler. These are the intended results I wanted, was in Chandler, and some in Queen Creek. So apparently, Ocotillo is a popular name to use inside of a subdivision across the Armillis, Arizona area. So I probably should have specified a city. So that's why this button's here. So a quick peek down here, I wanted to show you there's also the results down here, so you can start seeing just the list items. You can see the price range, and I can see, man, this is just way off. I got homes in Chandler, I got homes everywhere. So I don't need to see these results. I'm going to just click this little up arrow to hide them. And I need to add more here. I actually need to add a city, and I want to choose Chandler. And that should narrow it down enough. So now if I hit this view search results button again, now this map is nice and zoomed in because all my properties are right in the Chandler Ocotillo area. So that's beautiful. That's exactly what I wanted. And now, now my list down here, this range is a little more manageable, 109 properties. That sounds about right. All in Chandler. And that's good. So again, I'm going to click this little up arrow to hide it. And now I'm going to just give this campaign a title, and again, this is specific to my clients. I could put in anything I want to. So if Bill and I had some sort of inside joke, I could reference that here, right? Bill, here are recently sold homes in your community. And I could put Ocotillo, like that. And then if I wanted to create a blog search about it, that's a really good idea because a blog post helps you on the SEO front. It helps Google see that you're updating your website. We're using search criteria to load in and fill in the content of that blog post, and Google can index and kind of sink its teeth into that data. So it really helps you and helps you further, helps Google want to play matchmaker with you, and as far as bringing people to your website. So the blog post title, however, should be named something different, right? Not something specific to Bill, but something that would be similar to something somebody might be searching for online. So so here we're going to say homes that recently sold in Ocotillo, Goodyear, oopsies, Goodyear, Chandler, AZ. Probably should have muted my phone before this. All right, Chandler, AZ. So if you notice my title here, I mean, this is something similar to that people might search, right? People don't use closed as a word. They say sold. And I have the community and the city. So again, this is a pretty good title. You want to make sure you model something like that. I have this little button that says share blog post with Buffer. Buffer is that third-party software that hooks up and will help syndicate content over to social media. We have some videos. If you're not sure if you have Buffer, you may not, and so you can take a look at the videos that we have all about Buffer and that. So anyway, I'm gonna move on. Now it's time to schedule this email. Well, since Bill just closed on this house, I know that he's not looking to transact. He's not looking to buy or sell anytime soon. But I do want to remind him who I am, right? I'm his real estate professional, and I want to give him the information before he thinks about going to Zillow. So I want to set this up to be about once a month. Send the same email once a month. It'll send him a link to this search, and when he comes back to the search, the most recently updated properties will show up first. So it's going to look like new information every time he comes back. Recurring once a month. About what time of day? This is what time is asking. What time of day do you want to send it? I can send it about now. It's about 2:24 p.m. So if I do this, it'll send this once a month about 2:24. Or I can choose a different time, maybe something like 10 a.m. We like to make sure that we don't get caught up in the overnight and morning email sweep that most people do. So we usually recommend about 10 a.m., maybe a little after. Start date, I want to start it today. And end date, I really don't have an end date. Actually, I'm going to change this to send now. End date here, I don't I don't want this to ever stop. I don't want to have to come back and do this again. So I'm just going to leave this blank. If you know that you want it to stop at a certain time, you can pick an end date here. Header, this is the template that might show up before my content of my email. So if I had some sort of special brand or language I needed to have before every email, I can do so. I can change my email template. Again, we do have another video all about editing and managing your email templates. Signature, if you have variations or have different team members, you can pick your correct signature. I'll use mine. And footer, if you have any special disclosure language, again, you can update your footer as the email template, otherwise just leave default. So I'm not Dale, I'm Steven. So let me put my information in here. Perfect. I want it to be my name and my email address. And then notification type, remember, ding, 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 we need market update in here. All right, this is a big one. This is the one where a lot of people miss. I'm sure we'll come up with better improvements in the future, but for now, we need you to make sure if you are sending any listings at all, you need to choose market update as your notification type. If you happen to be using the campaign builder to send out a birthday reminder or just a hey, how are ya, you don't have to choose market update, but most cases we're going to be sending listing data, market updates where it's at. Okay, campaign template, I have a whole bunch of different options to choose from that just come built in with the site, and of course I can make my own. I'm going to choose market update for a homeowner, and you can see here it's got a special code that says contact first name. Here's your neighborhood market update, and that's called a merge tag, and that's just going to this is going to blend in with the database and choose whatever first name you have for this person. That helps with building templates, that way you don't have to change it every time. But if you'd like to change it, you can. And then down here, this is the email. This is the body of the email that came through. Looks like my spacing's off, so I'm going to just maybe edit that real quick. I like my emails to be stacked and really well organized, so I can just do it that way. If I wanted to change any of this language on the fly, I could. And then that's that. And then we do have more merge tags in case you want to include other information you may have on file for this person, or some of your information is also associated as a merge tag, so you can use these wherever you want. If you just click on it and use it, it just drops it right in the body there. Okay, so once it's all done, you hit Save Campaign. You get a little please wait a moment message, and you get a little green success message here. And so what I want to do now is I want to take a look at Bill Demo 8, which is who I just sent this to. If I go to my contacts, if I go to Bill Demo 8, that's the one I just created. Here's the contact, and again, I added this information on the fly. It's all here now. I'm not going to go over managing contacts. I have another video all about that, but I just wanted to drop down here and show you what's going on. So I have an activity log. You can see that the search was saved today at 2:27, just a minute ago, and at the same time, the first email was sent. I think I didn't announce it during the video very well, but I did go back and change the what time to right now, just so that way we could see these results here. And then email campaigns are right here. You can see the title is Bill, here are recently sold homes in your community, Ocotillo. That's the campaign title I gave it, and it's right here. If I wanted to take a look at that search, I can just click on this link, and it'll bring me over to that search. In fact, I'll just go ahead and do that now. I can see it. Oh, here's that search for Ocotillo, and those are the homes that I just saw before. Beautiful. All right, and if I wanted to update that search, if that criteria needed to change slightly and I needed to do that on the fly, I could. I can click on that link and say, okay, let me just, let's see here, criteria is 180 days back. You know what, actually, I do need to change that back to 90, so I'm going to take that out and go under more filters, date stack, and 90. You can see it's almost the same interface as it was in the campaign builder, and I can just hit update save search. So I can change that on the fly, which is really powerful. The other thing that's really cool is that your client can change it on the fly, so you guys could essentially be collaborating on what that perfect search is for that person. Okay, so coming back to it, this campaign does tell me a little information. It was created today. The next email is going to be December 11th, 2017, so about 30 days from now. And the start date was today. That's what we chose. End date, this is just the generic end date, basically, is like 40 years later or whatever, because I didn't select an end date. And campaign is active. Cancel campaign, this little on and off switch, this is more or less like a pause button. If you turn this off, it won't send. And then there is a delete button if you want to just completely remove it from the system. Down here in the contact, you see different views, search views, property views, all views. You see a lot of different information here. It's all blank because our client hasn't done anything with this yet. So let me actually pull up this email. Let me pull up this email on behalf of Bill Demo. So here's that email that I just sent to Bill Demo. It says, Bill, here's your neighborhood market update, just like we planned. He gets a little View Now link. So let me open this up in a new browser, so that way the system knows it's somebody separate. One of the awesome things about this is that not only did we create an account for Bill, but we also, a contact record for Bill. We also created an account for Bill without doing anything, and then as soon as Bill clicks this link, it actually signs him in automatically. So if Bill goes over to my account, he can see, like, he's got a save search, and there's that campaign that we have set up for him. If I go back here, I forgot to even just highlight, it's the same search. Notice how it says 90 days back here because I, as the agent, updated it before Bill ever went and looked at it. So originally I had set it up for 180, and then as the agent I said, oh man, I forgot to change that back to 90, so I did that and updated the search, and here it is. So if Bill, my client, wanted to come here and update this search, again, it's almost like a collaborative process, or it can be, which is really cool. So here's the listings. If I want to start saving properties, me as Bill, I don't have to sign in or anything because I'm already signed in. So if I hit save property, I do get a little pop-up like, what do you want to title this? Oh, so this is my neighbor's house, so I'm going to just title that for my neighbor's house. Oh, now it's saved. So if I go back to my account up here, now I can see my neighbor's house is right here. And anytime a property is saved, it actually automatically enrolls them into a campaign, which will send them an alert anytime that property has changed. All right, so then the other thing I was going to do, so now again I'm pretending I'm Bill, right? So I'm Bill and I'm on the side, and I just looked at my search and I saved a home. Now I just want to see what else my real estate agent has to offer on their website. Let me take a look at their blog. What are they writing about? Okay, looks like they just did a blog about recently homes sold in Ocotillo. If I take a look at that, we'll check it out. That's the search that he just sent me directly. So that's pretty cool. So he also blogged about that, and he's got some other stuff going on. There's a newsletter. Homes for sale in Scottsdale, so I can take a look at that. So again, I'm just pretending that I'm the client, kind of just perusing the website. And the reason I'm doing that is because meanwhile, back at the ranch, as the agent, I can come back to Bill's contact record, and if I just refresh this page, I can see what Bill's been doing. So look at my activity log. Bill, he clicked my email link. So that's awesome. I have a record of that, and he saved a property, and he called it his neighbor's house. And if I go down here for saved searches, it doesn't show up there. Saved properties, there's that neighbor's house that he saved. I can take a look at that if I want to just by clicking this link. And my email campaign is still here. And now I have some search views. I can see that that Bill, my client, was looking at the search I sent him. He looked at that blog post that had a search on it for recently sold homes in Ocotillo. The other blog post had a search on it for homes in Scottsdale, Costa Verde. and then all views, you can see, oh, he's been moving around my website quite a bit. So that's the power of this system, and that's a full overview of this campaign builder. So I really appreciate you guys watching. If you have more questions, just reach out to us, support@ifoundagent.com, and I encourage you to go to our knowledge base, ifoundagent.com/knowledge base. We have a lot of articles and videos that we keep making, and it's all search friendly, so you can look something up if you have a specific question about something. So, all right. Well, thank you again for watching. Have a good one.